What's good, YouTube land? The Ultimate Form here, back again, once again, today, people. Today, we are here for another episode of Hogwarts Legacy. In the last episode, we completed our final boss fight against Ranrock. Almost said Ragnarok. Felt like that. Had to deal with the consequences of that, which was rather heart-shaking. If you haven't seen that episode, please make sure you check that out. In this episode, we're going to check in with Seb, and we're going to go and check in with Professor Weasley, and hopefully wrap things up. If you like what we saw here today, please make sure you hit that like button, share with your family and your friends, ring the bell to get notified of more content coming your way. Let's get it.
Glad you came. Sebastian, I've received your owl. What's happened? Ominis spoke with Anne about what happened with my uncle Solomon. She believes I should pay for what I did, but she won't turn me in. She said the guilt I'll have to live with is punishment enough. I'm so sorry. But I'm glad you know that we can at least try to move on now. The thing is, I think I've lost my sister. My twin. Forever. She refuses to even see me. I can't blame her. I couldn't really blame any of you if you gave up on me entirely. You all believed in me, and I let you all down. Anne may just need some time. Surely one day she'll be able to forgive you. I hope you're right. I realize I can't undo what's been done, but I can try every day to make up for it. I owe you everything for standing by me. Well, it wasn't easy, but I believe in you, Sebastian. I've had a sense about you since that first day you defeated the Dark Arts. Seems so long ago. Thank you. I have no idea what's to come, but I'm grateful for your friendship. I'm glad you came to Hogwarts.
Sallow grave. Do we go past level 40 though? Doesn't look like it. And look, 100%. 100% across the board. And then like a lost talent point, which doesn't really go into anything. Don't know what to put it in. These points are limited. That one is kind of cool. So each successive spell cast extends the duration of the focus potion. Seems like a good idea. So let's go check in with Professor Weasley, a savvy spender. That one is spend all talent points. Definitely will build differently in my next playthrough. Even my sister, like me and my sister, we kind of felt the same way about many of the things on the skill tree. And she's like, I say novice RPG player. She isn't. She's played Pokemon most of her life, which means she's pretty good at RPGs. But Hogwarts Legacy was the first RPG she's played in a very, very long time. But she built her character pretty much the same as mine, instinctually.
Professor Weasley, you wanted to see me?
I did. We haven't had a chance to speak since I know you were quite
Go ahead. This feels like a lovely recap to everything. You have to Accio it. I can't just put it on the table.
What do you think, Professor?
I think you've been busy this year. It seems you've nothing left to do to complete your field guide. Most impressive.
Yeza.
With your OWLs soon upon us, I am thrilled to see you so prepared.
Oh yeah.
I will confess, I had a sense about you from that first moment you came bursting in, late, to the
Thanks.
ceremony. I am pleased to see that my instincts were correct. To think you've only been with us a year and you're already taking your OWLs, well, it's nothing short of astonishing.
Thank you, Professor, for everything.
You are most welcome. I look forward to seeing what you do during the rest of your time with us.
What's left to do? What's left to do? House Cup. Go to the Great Hall. So that's all of this done. Yeah. Where is it? Leprechaun. Lucky Leprechaun Ensemble. Let's get dressed up. I never wore this robe. This robe is kind of nice. So let's wear. Where is it? Who's ringing my doorbell this time of night? Um. Ooh, top of the class ensemble. Where my for that one and a hat. A hat. That hat will do. That hat will do. Haven't worn a hat this entire game, but today I'm making an effort. Oh, my neighbor got locked out again. Okay. Okay. Yes, we are ready. Oh, was it not that one I marked? Oh, it was this one. The Lucky Leprechaun overcoat. I feel very, very accomplished. So let's go over to the Great Hall. Yo, he got the look, cuz. Why am I not in any of these cutscenes, bro? I kind of need to be in this cutscene, bro. I'm here in these classes too. Aderical. Oh, bugger training. Do it, Natty. Do it. Oh, it's her dad. Her dad's her biggest fear. Oh no, that must have been the hunter then. A cat. You guys. It all comes to an end.
This year we have seen our students exemplify the bravery of Godric Gryffindor. And now we can finish. Loyalty of Helga Hufflepuff. The wisdom of Rowena Ravenclaw. And the ambition of Salazar Slytherin. And so, the winner of this year's House Cup.
Excuse me, Headmaster, if I may. One particular student's heroism during the attack on Hogwarts, not to mention the level to which they excelled in their coursework, as a new student, no less. Well, it would seem that it certainly merits, I'd say, 100 points to their house. Wouldn't you agree?
Ah, yes. Thank you, Professor Weasley.
So we win.
Suppose we have our winner.
That's lovely. I've really had fun with this game, honestly. Avalanche have done a wonderful job. I have my minor gripes with it, and I think as Avalanche's first outing with this IP, they've done a really good foundation, and I hope that they take it further. We should be getting more stories from the Wizarding world through the gaming format that isn't stuff that we've already done. So don't get me wrong, I love the Lego Harry Potter games. I wasn't exactly a big fan of the movie ones, but this is where it's at. You get to tell your own stories using the lore and stuff that you've built up, that the community have built up over the years. Not just in the books, but the movies, additional material, Pottermore. There's so much rich stuff here, and it deserves to carry on. This game isn't just for Harry Potter fans. If you're new to the franchise, this is a perfect interactive starting point. Combat is fun, exploration is fun, combat's dynamic. I think that's what I like most about it. They've given us a very unique set of tools for combat, and it works on a very base level, and there's many things I guess they could do on top of it moving forward. Don't know how they would do it. I'm not a combat designer by any means, but I think what they've done is cool. There's enough variety in terms of spells and spell combinations where there is, yeah, again, go back to the word dynamics, just not accurate for what I'm trying to say, but it conveys it enough. Exploration is fun. There's enough to do enough variety of things to do. I wish there was a bit more interaction with NPCs though. That goes into a whole discussion about how quests are allocated to each house. Somehow, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but each house you're in gets a different allocation of the total quest set, and some of us get more quests than others. I drew the short straw by choosing Ravenclaw. I think they got the least amount of love in terms of the quest proportion, but we did get a fresh and newly designed common room. Although Amit didn't do too much, which is sad. I wish we had a bit more interaction and with him like we did with Natsai, Poppy, and Seb. Seb's quest line is fantastic. His fall from grace is great. Natty faces her fears, not just her fears, but she faces the reason she's anxious and has her morals, the dark side and the downside of her type of justice. And even then, it's all about justice between the three of them really. And Poppy, her the revelation of her story gets me because I feel like it's the only question I had at the beginning, like why does she do the certain things that she does, and she answers it near the end, and it gives context to everything. Did wish there was an interaction probably with her grand directly or her parents, one of the two, just to kind of fill that out a bit more, give it a bit more substance. Natsai, her quest line is great, and it runs very parallel to what we do in the main quest, because we fight Rookwood on one side, and then with her we deal with Harlow, and they run very much parallel with each other, but they cross over, so it just works. It just works in like a really satisfying way. But all the quest lines seem to kind of cut. Well, Poppy's a bit more separate, but all the quest lines seem to just overlap with each other in the right places, and it does really good to pace things out. But yeah, that's just like my initial thoughts, and I'm just gonna wait to see how my sister views the game. I might do one more episode of us just running around the castle, probably looking for the last like 3 Velia pages that I haven't managed to find yet, and see what she says about the game. She has some, again, as I've said recently, she's just getting back into gaming as something to do in her pastime. She does have my 2 nephews to raise, so it's not something she can do often, but she's really enjoyed jumping back and relearning that skill set, the way of thinking, the way of playing, the insight, the intrigue. She likes stories. That's part of the reason why I like storytelling. She's the impetus for a lot of things in my life, mind you, my older sister. And she has a very different perspective because I stuck with playing games and telling stories and reading books in a much more dogmatic way. I say dogmatic. It is dogmatic because like I feel like reading and telling stories and being a part of a story is really integral to the development of a person, because we're not just our lived experience, we're our vicarious experiences as well, and we get a lot of experience from walking in someone else's shoes for a time. That's why TV is such a big thing, and obviously with streaming. But this is a whole different media argument and conversation to be having. It's not. I should become a teacher one day. I can then have these conversations, and they make more sense because then people can input on them better. But yeah, I'm getting off track and sidetracked. But I'll probably continue having this conversation once we finish Horizon Forbidden West as well, because again, that's a game where I have a lot to say about how the story is constructed. But geez, it's been fun. It's been really, really fun. To loop back around, I've enjoyed my time again re-engaging with Harry Potter and the Wizarding World. I've been out of it for a long time. I can talk about Harry Potter to a lot of people, but I've never been in it like I've been in it recently. I've been going back, relearning the lore, relearning the books, kind of taking my time to kind of get reacquainted and re-immersed in the things that I enjoy about it. And mind you, I don't like a lot about Harry Potter. The author standing, but it's been cool to get back into the magic of a world where many things are possible, but certain things only happen because people will it. And that's what it's about. Magic is fun and great and mystical and whatnot, but there's always a dark side to it, and people will abuse things. The whole poachers storyline that runs through the whole game from the very start, really, and the interaction with the goblins and stuff show that there are, even Ranrock's story, the whole beeline he makes to gain power and to reclaim something he believes that belongs to him, is interesting because it shows what dark intentions people are willing to have to gain things, and what they're willing to sacrifice or put on the side for darker things. It's great to be a part of something so long standing. So Harry Potter is about as old as I am at this point, and I'm almost 30. So, wow, way to age myself. Um, it's been around a long time, and it's developed and aged with its audience, but has also kept that mass appeal. It delves into darker and more mature things from time to time. I think this game did it well by having us start as a 5th year rather than a first year. Because lots of people get crossed off the census in this game, and I think at that point you kind of have to make the character old enough to kind of deal with those things from the jump. It's anything that I do, if I miss a step, if I misobserve a situation, if I plan wrong, or I get careless, I could get killed. I could get X'd straight up because of magic can't save you from making mistakes like that. Magic doesn't fix mistakes, and I think that's something that maybe not everyone gets through this story in particular, but it's something that from the very beginning I realized that it kind of runs through, because loads of people make loads of big mistakes, bad calls or bad judgments. Sebastian, for example, he made a series of bad calls throughout the entirety of his story. That's what led to his downfall. And he has to pay the price eventually. But even Poppy made mistakes. Natsai made mistakes. She got hit with Crucio for us. We made mistakes, pushing Seb into that position, running with Natsai, trying to solve this without any help from any adults, getting on her mum's bad side. Poppy, again, choosing to go it alone because she didn't want other people to get involved and get hurt, but she let us in. We brought Amit into our problems. Lodgok, too. Professor Fig, principal person. He was the impetus for most of this stuff. Well, him and his wife were the impetus for most of this stuff happening to our character in particular. Just, it takes one thing. It takes literally one thing, and a whole house of cards can come falling down. But in that same vein, in the reverse, one moment could build great foundations, strong characters, the whole 9 yards. I think, despite how the game ends, because I feel like that's something to be talked about later on down the line. The game reaches its crescendo in a very nice and fluid fashion. Depending on how you play the game, the pacing is going to be different, but the way they plan how the quests pop up and how you progress through the game just sweets me nicely. But yeah, I think we're getting to the end of the credits now. Somewhere near the end of the credits. But that's enough rambling from me. Let's see if there's anything else at the end. Seeker of Knowledge. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else on the quest log. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's everything. There was only a few more Revelia pages and demi-guides that I had managed to miss. Couldn't tell you where they are. I know that the collection chests were in the Pulso dungeons in the castle, but I can't be asked to go figure that stuff out. And there's a Revelio page somewhere and a demigod statue, and I just couldn't find them. Probably will find them in my next playthrough. But I think that's pretty much it. 100% max level, I say max talents. We built pretty well. Built the spells, core, and a little bit into everywhere else. I probably build it a bit differently. I value tools a lot more than I thought I would. But yeah, 4,000 HP. Don't really need it now. If there was more stuff, if I didn't do everything at the end, by the end, I guess I would have had more stuff to do. But yeah, if you enjoyed the series and you enjoyed your time with me, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, ring that bell to get notified of more content coming your way, share with your fam and your friends. And I've been your boy Lion the Ultimate Form, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.